Trail Seeker Adventures heads to round one of the Wexcr race series in Reno, Ohio. And no, I will not be riding a bike. I will be upon my LTR 450. This will be the first time I checked out this series. I want to let you know what I think about it.
That is not an option for quad.
You might say not everything went to plan. More about that later. But for now, let's strap on the goggles, get ready to check out round one at Reno, Ohio, the Wexcr series. Let's go, Daredevil! I typically race dirt bikes. I have raced both bikes and four-wheelers at the GNCC and my local series in the past. But last year, I think I was on this thing maybe twice. So let's hope this thing starts and let's hit the track. I'm going to get you one full first lap. It's not usually a quick starter. The mud, or I should say the dirt here at Reno, is a clay, and unfortunately for the staff, it rained the day before, so she is wet clay, and you know what that's all about. Starts up pretty good, and although I did not get the whole shot, I'm pretty good with second. Going into the woods, we had a line of about 10 to 15. The gentleman ahead of us, he did get the whole shot, and one of the things that I did like about the series for the whole shot, everybody that got the whole shot for each line got a free event t-shirt. Thought that was a pretty good whole shot award. Now let's talk about the four-wheeler that I'm racing. It's an 06 LTR 450. I've raced this four-wheeler for, I don't know, about 4 or 5 years. I was racing the GNCC, I did the Sprint Enduro, and I was doing the local series with my bike. I came across this at the Elkins Motorsports. They gave me a pretty good deal on it, and for a couple years I raced both the four-wheeler and the bike at the GNCC. And then I would go do the Sprint Enduro with just the bike, and then I would do my local series with both the four-wheeler and the bike. But I haven't done that for a few years. Last year I ran this twice. New East Coast, first time. Round one was in the snow. Was leaving my class. I think it was the 40 plus or whatever I was running that day. But on the last lap the chain broke, and then at the Mountain State Hare Scramble in Grafton, last minute decided to jump out and try it, the quad, because I wasn't going to get through the race in time to race my bike. Wasn't feeling it that day. The suspension felt like crap. So the reason why I'm on the four-wheeler this year is I jacked my knee up. Got to get an ACL surgery, so I'm trying to stay off the leg as much as possible. So during the winter, I decided to freshen up the old LTR. Got some Fox floats, narrow A-arms. Got all new brakes, chains, sprockets. But unfortunately, my daughter and her boyfriend was coming to this race series. Jared races four-wheelers. Now this is the downhill that they were talking about. And you can go left as a go around or go straight up over the hill. I went straight up over the hill. As you can tell, several people got stuck Fortunately, I made it up over, just about plugged that tree. But I was wanting to get out and ride this four-wheeler before I raced it. Unfortunately, I came home when they invited me to come to this race, and when I jacked it up to do some adjustment on the front shocks, the rear shock drained all the oil out of it, so I had to ship it to Mike Weimer in Oakland, Maryland. He did a quick rebuild on it, and unfortunately I didn't get it back on the four-wheeler until the day before this race, so I had no seat time. But I'm just out here for fun. I wanted to check this series out for a while, and my agenda is to give you all a report and let you know what a first timer at this Wexcr, I hope I'm saying that right, Wexcr series. We got here right in the middle of the youth bikes. They still had youth four-wheelers or quads, and then they had the bikes. They were already running about an hour behind, but whenever you're in this area with the clay and you get rain, the little bikes struggle, and right away none of the youth's fault, but it takes the youth some time to get around here, and then you have to drag the bikes out of the woods. So they were a little behind on this day. The line was a little long pretty much all day, but that's nothing new for race one. You have a lot of first timers. They have to get all their information in it, but everybody I spoke to, from the course marshals to sign up, everybody was super nice. The track layout, as you can see,
Getting tired already.
Reno has had a lot of races throughout the years, so there's track and trail all over this property, and I felt that they ribboned it off very well. They had bikes only areas where the quads wasn't able to go, whether it's single track or whatever. They had it ribboned off in several different places, so even if one person busted the ribbon, the next person coming would have a secondary ribbon in order to not go the wrong way. I felt the layout was good, especially on the uphills. They had go-arounds. That is so very important because not everybody is at the same skill level. It's really tough for these race series to try to make something challenging for skill levels, but when you put a difficult section in, you really want to put a go around for the C class or beginners, and I felt they did a pretty good job. The only one that I was a little concerned about was the downhill, the first pretty steep downhill. I'm not sure if there was a go around on that. This red clay is pretty slick. I know with the quad, once you started down it, he wasn't going to stop. He slid straight down to the bottom. But other than that, I felt the course was challenging for the pros, A riders, but also doable for the C riders. I'm out here just for fun, so I didn't want to hold up anybody. I'm running the 50 plus class. Most of the time at my local series, I run 40 plus. I am 53, I think. But sometimes when you let people around, this type of thing happens. I'm already committed to this line. So that holds me up here for a few seconds. But we get through. I'm going to be giving you a full first lap. Then I'm going to let you know some of the issues I had throughout the day with the quad. Make sure you stick around for that. Basically, I tore this thing down, put all new plastic graphics, rear brake disc, brake pad, axle bearings, swing arm bearings, everything I could think of that would be setting out in the woods. Well, I'll make one dumb mistake. I had an oversized tank on this quad, but it had a crack where one of the fuel lines came out. I had got a second oversized tank. Felt it was in a little better shape. The only thing I did was that I could think of that caused the problem was the fuel cap. I had some gasket maker I put up there on. When I was doing it, I'm like, I don't know if this is a good idea, but I did get some gasket maker and put around there. Wasn't for sure if that's the best idea, but come to find out it was not the best idea. Now here's a Pro line. I didn't even realize it was a line until I got past it. It really doesn't look that bad other than it's an off camber with wheels with no ruts. So traction probably was going to be the only issue about going that way. And unfortunately, right here is the first sign that I'm going to have an issue today. This young man gets stuck. I try to get up in here and she starts missing. Come to find out that I'm pretty sure I got it tore apart, got it running. This is Wednesday, so Tuesday I got it washed up. Figured out what I think went wrong. There's Jose trying to get me to go in a certain line. I don't think this is the way he wanted me to go, but comes to find out the gasket maker that I made was not good for a gasket for gas. But what it does do very well is it may not seal my gas cap adapter, but it will seal my fuel filter. I tore the thing apart. It was black. I couldn't blow. I could barely blow through the filter, so I think that is going to be the problem. But it wasn't all bad. I was wanting to, I really wasn't wanting to check out to see how many course marshals come by, how long it's going to take to get me out of the woods. That really wasn't the plan for the day, but unfortunately that is what happens. She starts missing towards the end of lap 1. The suspension really is not feeling the best, more so my rear shock. It wasn't too bad in the woods, but out here on the faster flat track area, it was bouncing pretty bad. But basically what happens, it starts missing. I had to keep the RPMs up pretty high. It would run decent. As soon as I would get on a hill or something to where the RPMs would drop down low and start sputtering, I'd have to clutch it real hard. Set the clutch to get the RPMs back up in order to get it to move. In certain areas, I could make it work pretty good. In other areas where it's a little more tight and technical, I would have problems with it. So I at least wanted to get one full lap. I do get one full lap. I go past my pits. The quad is running pretty decent, so I decided to go do a second lap. I do go around for my second lap. I led the first lap. Second lap, I had to stop about 4 or 5 times to get it to run, as you'll see here pretty soon. Kept messing with different things, thinking that it might be vapor locked or whatever. but unfortunately not. I'll get 2.5 laps in. But at least I got one full solid lap, so you can see what round 1 of the Wexcr series 2022 was all about. If you was at this race, leave a comment, let me know whether or not you enjoyed the track layout. I felt they did a pretty good job. The only thing, maybe it was a little on the short side. I only did 2.5 laps. I believe the leaders did 7. I think they said the course was, I think maybe 5 miles. That's several laps. Sometimes when you're burning up so many laps, it seems like the race is a little longer than normal. I think they run an hour and a half for the quads. I believe it's 2 hours for the bikes. But sometimes when it's rainy, conditions aren't perfect, they have to make adjustments. I know the bikes had a longer course. They had a single track section that we was not able to run. This is where my quad felt the worst coming through the field. I'll get this thing fixed. I need to get out and do some laps, get the suspension figured out. I only run it once or twice the first lap, like the first mile or so. I was a little hesitant, just getting used to the thing. I did come through first on the first lap. They use Moto Tally, so you will need to purchase a transponder. I believe it's $10 if you don't have one. It's just a sticker that you stick under your visor. If you have Moto Tally from a different series, which I use, the US Sprint Enduro and the SXCS, but Moto Tally. Coming out onto the moto track. The last time I was at Reno was like 2005 or 6. It was a mudder as well. My son was at the time on a 65. It was so muddy that his tire got so plugged up it wouldn't even turn. I had to go out on the track and dig the mud out of his front wheels. So it's not that muddy here today. Actually, the condition was pretty good actually for the four-wheelers. I noticed the bikes, the course got pretty rutted up. At this point in time, I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to go for another lap. My concern was it's late in the day. They were running a little behind. The last thing I want to do is be sitting out in the woods waiting for somebody to pull me in. But at this time, it's running pretty decent. Was running pretty decent. I come past Tiff, my daughter.
It's not running very good.
Let them know that I'm having issues just in case I don't come back around. This is where we dropped into the woods. And this is the steep downhill I was talking about. They may be a go around for that one. I'm not sure. But they did have a go around to the left. I was concerned that the four-wheeler not running right, I wasn't going to be able to get back up over that hill. It looks like the go-around has a couple of wet spots that can get you stuck. This is where it really started acting up. nobody's fault. It's the mechanics. We'll get her fixed up. My daughter's boyfriend Jared, he runs the Open A class. I think he was battling back and forth, second and third, ended up third in his class. I'm not sure where he was in the overall. I would say for sure somewhere in the top 10. So he's a very good quad rider. I don't have as much experience with the quad. Back in the day, in 1996, I started racing quads when I was in high school with a Suzuki 230 quad sport. Race motocross at Dream Mountain Raceway over in Brewster Mills, right on the Morgan, Maryland border. Raced until about 1989. Got married, had kids. Really didn't do much more racing until about 2004 or 5. I decided to get a dirt bike. Pretty much been on dirt bikes ever since. So here, I think I'm done. I'm like, alright. That's a good place to watch. Keep jacking with it.
Like a good place to watch.
But sometimes it's just a loose fuse or a loose something or another. I think I've been sitting in the woods with a bike maybe 2 times. One time for running out of gas, and one time I had a fuel issue. Quad, I think I've gotten pulled out of the woods maybe 2, maybe 3 times. One time it was a bad injector, jumping GNCs. I think I got her figured out. Kind of weird that basically I think what it was doing was running out of gas. Sat there and allow enough gas to get through the filter where it run a little bit. I'm not sure. But I don't make it. Oh well, I do. I'll make it one more lap here. Come across 4th.
It's not running very good.
Jose's telling me I'm number 1. I'm telling him no, I suck. Or as a mechanic.
Keep shutting off.
Yeah, still having problems. Really didn't think I was going to get much past this location. Really didn't think I'd make it up this hill. But somehow I do. If this is the first time you've watched one of our videos, we are Trail Seeker Adventures. We bring the video camera, or I should say GoPro,
well,
to every
that's
race
what
event,
happens at the
rod
old
park,
four-wheeler.
it's snowboarding, mountain biking, downhill, whatever we do. We bring the camera, we give you the information about the event. There's Jared. But we bring the information to you, so that way you know if it's in a race event or a rod park that you're interested in. That way you know whether or not you need to load up your bike before you even get off the couch. Unfortunate for me, I'm leaning against a tree, getting the front row seat.
There's 110.
My number is 110. They said somebody already had 110, and right there he is. Not there, but there. The guy in the padded shirt sitting there.
110 is not going very fast.
That's 110. But not a bad place to sit and watch. Unfortunately, I was over here, and the first time the course marshal came through, I don't know that he even seen me. So I got up, pushed my quad back across the track. I got to this point and I'm like, man, there's no way I'm going to make it down and up this little ravine. I don't want to get down there and get stuck. So I had intentions of going around this ravine and heading back to the pits, but where you see my quad, that is as far as it would go. It did not start anymore the rest of the day. I'm shaking my fuel filter trying to get something to work loose. Didn't work. Sat here watching everybody else have a awesome day of racing. As far as course marshals, I'm not sure, but I think they missed me the first time. Maybe they saw me, but then they came around, said they'll come back and get me. I'm sitting here and I actually see them coming by, or coming down the mountain. So I get up, throw the trash off my four-wheeler that I was bored tossing sticks at it, and now it's time to try to find a way to get this old LTR out of the woods.
At least it ain't raining.
I gotta say, for the first time at a Wexcr race series event, I feel they done very well. Course marshals, sign up crew, they did have an issue with the four-wheelers on the
it's just tired. It didn't want to go any further.
Looks like they
He says, you haven't rode me for a year?
B
You
classes,
expect
but
me to
then
come
there
out
were
and
no
do
C
this?
classes, no
I think it's, I put a new tank on it,
age
and
classes.
I think the seal cone or something around, because I look in my gas and it's black.
Something went wrong.
So I think it plugged up either my filter or got in my injector or something.
Forgot about it. But I went up to the guy as soon as they showed up to start lining up the quads, let him know. He was very nice about it. They got it resolved. Everybody got lined up with no problem and had a great race event. But yeah, I felt that they were very professional throughout the entire day. Definitely look forward to coming back and checking them out again. But we are Trail Seeker Ventures. Unfortunately, I am on my quad getting towed out at the Wexcr round 1. I had an awesome time with family and friends. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. We are Trail Seeker Ventures. Go to YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button right here in the middle of the page. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you later.